Hello there and welcome to an episode of Rantz. It's Crisandro, of course, and it's a lovely warm sunny day here on the south coast, as you'd expect in early August. Just loving a bit of the sunshine, loving a bit of the warm weather, and you love to put a smile on your face. Oh, that's kind of my take on it. I mean, this weekend has been, the weekend that just passed has been an interesting one, all told, really. I mean, we had a game, obviously. We had one bit of good news and something kind of a bit mixed that came up in the group last night, and it's obviously turned into something quite big. But first we'll start on the game. Obviously we played Bayern Munich at home in the Visit Malta Cup. Lost the game 3-2, but I haven't actually seen too much. I didn't actually take the game too seriously. You might have seen that in the aftermath, where I wasn't kind of focused on how the goals went in or who scored, but when you kind of think about it, we went 3-1 down at half time, took a great lead. I mean, Kulusevski scoring a goal that was when the initial shot was saved, did very well in that one. So a rebound, that was after 20 seconds, that was good. And then, they scored 3 goals. I mean, we have to put it into context, and this is why I didn't take it too seriously. Taking into context the defence that we had, where it was Dragoshin partnering Ben Davies with Spence out at left back and Pedro Porro at right back. So kind of a mishmash of a defence, and it kind of told. I mean, their goals. I mean, I'll still say I haven't actually still seen it, but having heard Eddie Gold last night, I imagine that it wasn't offside, but I'll still say that the equaliser was offside. But obviously, I don't think it was. Upamecano scoring, and then bit of a mistake. Another issue with Vicario trying to play the ball out to a severely marked Bissouma. He's going to come up later. I'll tell you in a minute why. And that led to a goal. That was 2-1, and then a set piece goal. I think it was I want to say Muller that scored it. Thomas Muller, making it 3-1. And one could say that probably they deserved it. Sorry, I work in a very industrial area, so there'll be lots of trucks going by. So that was 3-1. But then a lot of things changed. We brought on our first choice, sort of our first choice defence. Romero, Van der Ven and Udogi played alongside Alexi Gray played at right back this time, and boy, that was a lot of difference there. We actually did score a second goal. Kulusevski again. Bergvall came on for the ineffective Madison. Had some good touches, but he wasn't really at his best, one might say. And it was Bergvall that started it, really. He tackled, who was it? It was Conrad Lima, wasn't it? And his touch then went on to Son, who touched it back to Bergvall, drove the ball forward, played a lovely ball into his compatriot Kulusevski, who gave the keeper the eyes and scored to make it 3-2. Kane obviously came on and had a couple of pot shots. There was a standing ovation for everybody, from everybody. Dyer came on as well, and I think I gave him a standing ovation because I knew that not many people would have given him. So that's where my focus was. Kane did have a couple of pot shots, but all went high, wide and handsome. A few people try to applaud that to me, but it's what it is. So obviously the game was finished 3-2, but in the second half we were a lot better, and Bayern didn't have a sniff. They were reduced to just pot shots from distance, and that's what happens when you have your best defence, which is why I didn't really take the game that seriously. It was just more of an experience for my goddaughter who was there, and she enjoyed it so much she wants to go and see another game, so that's kind of says it all for me. The Tottenham process is almost complete. There was a moment, I think, after that game where Kane had got the armband at Bayern for Bayern, and he didn't want to pick up the trophy. I guess that's classy in some ways. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. I've already said my piece about Kane, so that's why I'm not going to buy into the whole thing, because when other players do what Kane has done, they're not given the same kind of lord status that he is. So it is what it is. He's a Bayern player now. We move on. But you have to say that especially that second half against Bayern Munich, just kind of shows that I'd say that we're ready for the season to come, and we'll find out on Monday when we do the live watch along. Hopefully you join us for that. That's the Monday, 7:40 is when the program starts. So look forward to seeing you there. Some good news. Well, we know that it's Mikey Moore's birthday. Yesterday I think it was, and so that's when he turned 17, able to sign his first pro contract, and he signed it. Pictures in the group for us to see. It was signed this morning actually, and about 2 hours ago in fact. And yeah, signs for 3 years, and yeah, it's good to see, because it's good to see that I'm not going to go into the whole tying down, because that's not what it was about. It was literally about waiting for him to turn the right age so he could sign a professional contract. Man City tried to get him on, the usual underhand way, but it didn't work. And so yeah, got him now for 3 years, and I think when he turns 18 and he plays a number of games in the first team, he'll probably sign a further extension to that one. But well done to Mikey Moore. Good to have you. Good to have you on board. Definitely one of our own. And now for an interesting one. I'm going to take a seat for this one. An interesting one which unfolded last night, and I didn't take it too seriously until I kind of looked into it again today. And this is Yves Bissouma, filmed in some club. Not sure when that video was taken. I haven't looked into it, but because I don't really care about that. But I do care about is the fact that he was seen huffing a balloon full of nitrous oxide, and to make it worse, he was seen by his own camera, and the fact that he was seen by his own camera because it was posted on his own social media. Beggars belief, really. I mean, the fact that I think that last check, it is an illegal activity to inhale nitrous oxide for recreational use, because it's seen as a drug. But the fact that it's kind of the fact he did it so publicly. Well, when I say he did it publicly, he posted on the social media, so it's effectively public, and so there's just a level of not caring which is kind of like disturbed me, because I'm kind of wondering. There's a lot of people, as you can imagine, in the group, and then everywhere else just saying turf him out, turf him out, turf him out. There isn't that kind of same energy when it's other kinds of players. Let me put this to you. When Tony Adams and Paul Merson they came out and admitted that they were raving alcoholics. I don't know. The social media wasn't around back then. I'm not quite sure how many people back then would have said turf him out. I'm sure it'll be the case of we'll try and take more care of you, and they were put through rehab and all that sort of stuff, and came back and they became better players. My issue with Bissouma, and I don't really care what everyone else is now saying about whether we should turf him out or not. My issue with Bissouma is how long has this been going on? The reason I say this is because, as we know, I mean, he's not the number 6, but everyone's kind of like picturing, going to pigeonhole him as a number 6. But so let's go down that road. As we know, the first 10-11 games last season were fantastic. He was running the show. He was the man everyone the trust to go through and everything like that. Everyone could trust to keep the ball and whatnot. Then he had that issue against Luton where he was sent off, 2 yellow cards for a dive, and then he had another red card I think a couple of games later. And since then, I know people have been putting it down to his confidence. I've put it down to the fact that he's not really number 6 and he was making do. He never did that position in Brighton and whatnot. And initially I put it down to a confidence issue because of those red cards, and because he was asked to play in a position that he's not really programmed to or used to. And then he kind of factored that into the pot that the African Nations Cup lost last season. And even if he was having a bad form for Spurs, surely his country would pick him. They didn't. And that's when even then we're kind of thinking, okay, so he's having a bad form for Spurs. He's not even being picked by Mali. must be more than just a confidence issue, if you know what I mean. And now we're seeing this has just come out. You have to kind of wonder how long has it been going on, and if that's been a contributory factor to his poor form for us. And if that's the case, then we have to kind of wonder, you know, what exactly we do about it, because there is a player in there, and if he's kind of having confidence issues, and that's kind of led to him doing recreational drugs, as it were, to combat that, then you have to kind of think there's something more deep-seated and more deep-set going on in Bissouma that needs to be addressed. Which is why I can't really say anything about let's turf him out, let's rip up his contract. I mean, there are many channels out there that are so eager for us to rip his contract up and be done with it. And but if we're just going to pass it, you're just going to destroy a player's life like that, you know, at least say we try to fix it. And so I don't think turfing him out for no, you know, just turfing him out is the way to go. If there has been an issue and it has been going on for a while, we need to try and take good care of him if we can, and try and, you know, put him in rehab and try and get him back on track. That's the only thing to do. That's the best way to sort it. So I'm not that comfortable with people. It's always like certain types of players that always get that same kind of treatment, whereas other kinds of players are just kind of, you know, they put an arm around. You don't become a bad player overnight, so you don't become, well, I know that the usual terms, as you can imagine, lazy, not interested, that sort of thing. That gets pushed out as a narrative for Bissouma now. And so if it is the case that he's been been doing recreational drugs, I don't start walking now, doing recreational drugs because of that, you know, because of issues, we need to try and resolve those issues and see if we can get him back to his best. That's my take on it anyway, and that's what I want to see happen. But what Spurs do and what Ange Postecoglou does in terms of, you know, how he sorts this out is up to them. And even if they were to turf him out, you know, you can technically say it's a misconduct charge, and so it's a breach of contract. So yeah, but if you want to be a humanist kind of club, that's not the way you want to deal with it, with an issue like this. The guy is clearly hurting. You wouldn't just be doing recreational drugs on the eve of a new season, you know, and especially when you want to try and prove that you are a player that can handle the expectations of the club like Spurs. You want to try and prove that, and so this is what I'm saying. It's just as a professional footballer, it's inherently out of character. So I want to see what happens in this case, and I want to see where Spurs take it. I mean, I don't imagine he will, because he hasn't really played in pre-season, has he? I mean, he's had pretty much 45 minutes there, 45 minutes there. He hasn't really played a full 60 minutes or 70 minutes just to get fitness back. So 45 minutes here and there, he's not going to get fully fit in order to even start against Leicester. So I don't imagine we will seeing much of him, and even now because of this, I don't imagine he will be seeing him for the foreseeable. If what I think should happen will happen, and that's him going into rehab and seeing someone about his issues and getting himself sorted. So we shall see what happens. Well, it ended on a downer, but yeah, it just had to be said really, because I see a lot of things floating about Bissouma, and it just doesn't sit right with me. But yeah, I mean, we now got about well, we play next Monday against Leicester, so we shall see how that all unfolds. Looking forward to that game. Like I said, it will be on a live watch along at 7:40 p.m. So hopefully you'll join us for that one. But yeah, I mean, plenty to be happy about against in the Bayern game. That second half we were fantastic, and you got to say the touches of even Skip was fantastic in that game. You know, another player that people are maligned, and it is. I mean, Skip was good. Gray was good. Bergfall was excellent. You know, he did show Maddison up a fair bit. So I don't imagine that. You know, there'll be too much to worry about, and Leicester will come up against a side who are up for the season, I can tell you that. But anyway, thanks for listening, and thanks for watching. So let me know what you think about Bissouma, what you think should be done, whether you agree with me or whether you want to be harsh about it. Yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Come on, you Spurs. See you all on Monday, and in the meantime, you all take care.